Hello everyone, this is Direwolf20 and this is part 2 of Buildcraft machines. In the last episode I showed you the quarry, the refinery, and a couple other machines that are available in Buildcraft. And today's episode I'm going to feature the rest of the machines that you didn't see in the previous episode. Okay, so the first machine to show you guys here is called the filler. The filler is a really neat item that can be used for a lot of different things. Now before I get started with it, I need to take some yellow flowers and get some dandelion yellow. They're part of the recipe, as are ink sacs that you can find from squids. You need a landmark on the top, a chest on the bottom, crafting table, and 2 golden gears. This is important, they need to be golden gears. And you get your filler. Fillers are pretty neat. Why don't I run over here to my system of combustion engines, and I'll show you how the fillers work. But first I'm going to need some more of those power lines. So why don't we get some of those guys. There we go. And I'm going to lay out some power and connect it to the filler. Now the filler here does a couple different functions, and I'm going to show them all to you right now. First, you need to lay down your filler, but before you do that, you want to lay out an outline similar to like we did with the quarry. So we want to connect a line using the blue landmarks. So why don't we place one here, one here, and I'll put one over here. Why not? That looks pretty good. And just like before, we want to right-click the corner that connects to most landmarks. However, with the filler, we want to do this in 3 dimensions rather than just the 2 that we did with the quarry. So we want to build up a little bit. I'm going to go up about this high. I'm going to place a landmark on the wall up here. We've now got a 4-dimensional area, and if we right-click this bottom landmark, remember the one that connects to the other 3, we've got a nice little box. When we place down our filler in front of that box, you can see it creates an outline just like we had expected to. And all's cool and right with the world. So let me break these guys now. You'll also notice that the filler has this red little pattern on the top, and that's important to keep note of. Now it looks like it's getting a little dark out, so why don't I go sleep through the night and we'll catch up in a minute. Alrighty then, I'm back. Let's just check our fuel. Yeah, we got plenty of fuel in our combustion engines here. Let's open up our filler interface by right-clicking on it. Now you can see there's a spot up here and a spot down here. The top slot determines what type of filler this is going to be, and there's actually 6 different types of fillers, and I'm going to go over each one pretty briefly. And the bottom slot are the resources that we're going to use to run the filler. So for now, I'm going to use, let's say, gold ore. That sounds cool, just because it might be neat to build a room out of gold ore. So again, just being a little silly with that. And the way we determine our filler pattern is by using a combination of bricks and glass. And the first one I'm going to show you is if you just fill the entire filler with bricks. This is the filling recipe, believe it or not, and it will actually place a block everywhere inside this roped out pattern with whatever you have in your resources. Let's give it a shot now by activating the lever. And as you can see, it's quickly filling up the area. And the pattern, of course, right now is green because it has some stuff to do. But once the filler's completed its work, it turns to red, which means it's done. We've now filled this entire roped off area with gold blocks. Pretty spiffy. Let's turn off our engines. Next, we're going to take a look at the opposite of that, and that's the clearer. The clearer will clear out every spot inside those lines, and we do it by filling this entire area with glass. Again, this completely clears every block inside those lines. Let's run it now. And as you can see, it's completely clearing everything out inside the roped off pattern. So there goes all the gold blocks that we just used. And again, the pattern turns red once it's done. The next pattern to show you guys is the flattener. This guy is really nice if you want to flatten out the landscape. All you do is place 3 bricks on the bottom and 3 glass on top of that and leave the top slot empty, and you'll see the pattern looks like a flattened area. And what that's going to do is it's going to place down the blocks on the bottom row. Let's check it out now. Activating the lever. And you can see that it flattens out this land by filling everything in. And it clears out everything in top of the box, but it makes sure the bottom area here is flat. Now, if we had some stuff in here, let's say like that, it would clear those out to ensure it stayed flat. So that's how the flattener works. Next up is the walls pattern. That's pretty straightforward. You just build the filler like this, and it'll create walls around the area that you've selected. So let's activate our switches now and see what happens. See how it's keeping the inside clear, but it's putting walls all around the area. So if we drill down in here, you'll see that this inside area is cleared out a little bit, but the walls pattern creates a wall around the structure. This is great for building a square room of a house. Now those are the most commonly used patterns, but there are two more here, and I'll be honest with you guys, I've never used them, so let's check them out. First off is the stairs pattern. It looks like this. Whoops, didn't mean to put that guy there. And let's turn it on and see what happens. Ta-da! Now if this were taller, it would obviously build a steeper staircase, but this is a great way to build a set of stairs that leads up to a big area. And last but not least, we have a neat pattern called the pyramid pattern. What do you think this does? Let's check it out, shall we? Activating our power. It builds a neat little pyramid for us. And of course you want to, shape your structure like a square to get a proper pyramid, but it gives you a gist of how it works. Pretty spiffy. And that's all the patterns for the filler. Now, why don't I clear out this area real quick and cover the most common question that I've ever seen in my life about this mod, and that is how to get rid of these yellow lines on the filler. It's actually pretty easy. Why don't I pick up all this junk and show you how to do it. All you gotta do is knock the filler off. So let's turn off our power here, we don't need that anymore, and break the filler. And all the excess stuff that was inside falls out on the ground, but that yellow tape is still there. What do we do about that, Direwolf? Well, we save and quit, and we log back into our world. And the filler lines are gone. So that's how you get rid of filler lines. You have to break the machine, and then close the world. And then you'll come back in, and the filler lines are gone. Perfect. Okay, the next two machines that I'm going to cover for you guys work in tandem with each other. The first thing I need to build is a piece of template paper. And that's done by putting 8 pieces of paper, which I hope you know how to make, and 1 piece of ink sac in the middle, and that gives you a blank template. Next, we need to place down 2 diamond gears, 2 dandelion yellows, a crafting table, a chest, a landmark, and 2 ink sacs. This gives us the builder. Now a very similar pattern here. We place down our ink sacs, our landmark, dandelion yellow, diamond gears, crafting table, and a blank template gives us the template drawing table. These two machines work in tandem with each other. Let's see how they work. Okay, so I built this goofy little pattern here. I don't know, let's put a couple little things. I'm just trying to build a random pattern here to show you guys how this works. So let's say we had this pattern and we want to record it on a template table. That's what the template table does. We can record the pattern of the blocks and rebuild them somewhere else using a builder. So first we need to lay down our landmarks, which we've got right here. We can lay one down here, here, over on this side, and of course we want to cover what's up in the air, so we need to hit up the third dimension here and hit it like that. Now when we activate this guy, we'll see that the pattern that we want encased is all within the red lines. As long as everything that you want is within the red lines, you should be in good shape. Looks good to me. So let's lay down our template table. Grab our template drawing table here and place it down. And we can recollect our landmarks because we don't need them anymore. Beautiful. Now, we open up our template table here, and as you can see, there's an input slot and an output slot. We just place our blank template, which I showed you guys the recipe for earlier, in the template table, and it'll start to encode right away. You don't need to connect power or do anything else. Ta-da! You've now got template number 1. We can now break this guy. We don't need him anymore. And as you can see, the tape automatically got cleared away. So let's go over here to the right and place down our builder. We can place down our builder like so. And as soon as we open up the builder, you can see there's a template and building resources. Building resources work the same as before, so let's go ahead and grab ourselves some blocks of gold. I'll put 2 stacks in, that should be plenty. And as soon as we place our template inside this builder, you can see that it maps out the area immediately for us. That's the exact same size as this guy over here. So again, this shape of this is based on the template, and the larger the area that we encased for our template, the larger this building area will be. Now, all we gotta do is connect some power to this guy. So let's get some power engines here going, and I'll be right back. So I've gone ahead and gifted myself a combustion engine with a bucket of fuel. I'm going to place down this redstone torch back here, and what should happen is as soon as I activate the power, it should start building this template pattern with those blocks of gold. Let's see what happens. Oh, there it goes. Beautiful. And of course, if I wanted to speed it up, I could give myself another bucket and another one of these combustion engines. And as you can see, it's building the exact same pattern that I built over there within this electrical tape area. And it's now all done, and the tape has disappeared. Ta-da! And that's how the builders and template tables work. And once you're done, you can just break this guy. And you'll also note that it didn't use up your template, so you can reuse this template elsewhere and build this pattern as much as you like. So that wraps up how to use the templates and the builders. So this is Direwolf20 wrapping up part 2 of the Buildcraft tutorial on machines. Hope you guys have learned how to use Buildcraft over this tutorial set. And as new features come out, because I know Space Toad has a lot planned in the future, I'll be sure to do more videos showing you guys how to use all the cool stuff that he's coming up with. You might also want to check out my mod spotlight for Buildcraft 3.0 Alpha. There's some really cool stuff planned, and if you haven't seen that already, you definitely want to check it out. So this is Direwolf20 signing off. Hope you guys have learned something like I said, and take it easy.